the lockdown has given us a lot of time to think about the past, good experiences, bad experiences, memories, and stuff. As a chess player, our main memories are from tournaments, right? So, tournaments where a lot of people get together, and for like 3 or 4 days, there's only chess. You're kind of cut off from the outside world. Only thought you have is winning and playing chess, who to face in the next opponent, how to play the next game. So, from my experience, I started playing in 2011, 2012 actually, in tournaments, in professional tournaments. So, starting from then, I've played a lot of tournaments, and some of the memories are really, good. Some are really bad. And one of the memories I'll always cherish is the Goa tournament from 2018. So, as a chess player, you just want a good playing hall with good air condition, lot of space, no disturbances, good chessboard, good chess clock. So that's the kind of tournament you want to play in, right? And the Goa tournament, which the Goa Chess Association conduct every year once, starting from 2018, is actually really perfect for a chess player. So it gives you the perfect setup to do well to compete. Now, they conducted their first tournament in 2018, 13th to 20th October 2018. And the category, there were three categories. Category A was GMs, like about 2000 level. Category B was below 2000 level. And category C was below 1600 level. I'm talking about ratings. So I was playing in rating category C, below 1600 level, and that was from 17th to 20th October. So we reached there on 16th night. I mean, I was traveling with a friend of mine, and we reached the hotel at around evening, like not evening, night actually, night on 16th. So we were staying with other chess players, and in each room there would be three chess players. I was staying with my friends from Kerala, and this was really a nice tournament. You can see the tournament hall here, right? There were around 600 players in category C itself. So it was like a chess festival. And the weather in Goa at that time was not too cool, not too hot. It was a little bit raining, like it rained sometime. So we had a really nice tournament. So I'm going to take you through the. So have a look at the tournament hall. There were players from different countries as well. So I'm going to take you through my tournament, how the games went for me. So let me show you the first game. First round game, I was facing Parvinder Singh from uh, Punjab, 1083 rating. Uh, so this was actually a little scary start for me. After e4, e5, knight f3, knight c6, d4, scotch opening, pawn takes, bishop c4. Here I played bishop c5. Now he played knight g4. This was a little new to me. I mean, what do I do here? He's attacking f7. So I played knight h6. Now I was not sure about it. I still don't know the actual correct move, but he played bishop f7. You can see why he did that. Knight f7, knight takes, king takes. He has queen h5 check. Knight takes, king takes, queen h5, and g6, queen takes e5. I know it looks a little bad for black, right? So actually, this position is slightly better for black. At that time, I was a little scared because I didn't know what was the evaluation, what to do. Like, but I still felt like it could be good for black. I played d6. So if you check material right now, black has got 7 points, white has got 7 points, right? Material is equal. And king is a little unsafe, but that can change, like king g8, rook f8, and king g8. I played queen h4 here after a lot of thinking. This is a little difficult move to counter for him. I'm attacking e4. White could just castle, that's what he did, and give up this pawn. So I had to decide whether to take this pawn or not. It's again risky. Queen e4, rook e1 can come, not now, after knight c3, I mean knight d2 or knight f3, and then bishop out, rook e1 can come. So my piece is not yet developed, king is not out, so I took it anyway. Right? After bishop h6, he just brings the bishop out, so I cannot play rook f8 now. That's where I want to put my rook, but I can't do that. I took the other pawn, c2 pawn also. He played knight d2. I played pawn a6. attacking the queen. The queen has to move. Queen g5. Now that is basically inviting me to go and take this pawn, but that would be too risky. If I go pawn grabbing too much, then he can create threats here, like knight e4 threatening queen f6, and that will be bad. So the move that I had seen here was queen f5. Now just to exchange queens, or at least get some pieces to protect the king. Now things are looking okay for me. I'm 2 pawns up, and it looks good, right? Rook e8. Now I'm going to play king g8 next. Yeah, he plays rook d1, a d1. I played just d3. Now this rook can come to e2 at some point. That's what happens. Bishop d7, just completing the development. I play rook e2. Rook d2, I just get the other rook in. Right? Now I think here there is a winning move for black. When I analyzed the game afterwards, I found it. Where was that? After rook e2, rook d2, rook here. Here. There is knight d4. A move that just wins, basically. Because of course rook cannot take, because knight takes back with a fork, right? So, and if knight takes knight, then rook takes rook checkmate. So this would have won on the spot, but I just played rook a8. I didn't see knight d4. Even here I have knight d4 actually, because again bishop cannot move because rook takes rook, knight takes rook takes back, and the same idea, but I was missing it from then only, so I did not see it here. So I played rook takes rook, knight takes back, and then knight e5, just defending the pawn. Right? Pawn f4. So here what I had calculated was knight c4. Knight c4, he gets the pawn, knight takes bishop, rook takes back, but then I have this this pin, and it's already attacked twice, so he has to defend with the king or the knight. There's only king there. And now there's a nice move for black. I just play queen d4, just creeping into the position, threatening queen d2. He plays knight d3, stopping that. Then I just play bishop b5, attacking the knight. Now it's difficult for white to hold on, because if you move the king, still I can play bishop takes knight. Rook will be pinned. Rook is anyway pinned this way. So he just plays f5, giving up that knight. I play bishop takes knight. He plays pawn takes. I just take with the bishop. So I'm basically up by a bishop in this position, right? It was not a difficult conversion after that. I'm getting a rook also. Queen takes here, and I take. And here he resigned because there's nothing left for him. So it was a little bit of shaky start, but I don't think there was any mistake in the game. I mean, taking those pawns was risky. I mean, this was carry position. And after that, when I played queen h4, which is kind of a good move, and then I took this pawn, and then I took this pawn also. It was not, I was not confident, but yeah, I had a feeling that it was okay for black, and it was okay. It was just 2 pawns up for black. And now second game was a very interesting game. I was kind of on the back foot after the middle game, like something around. Let me show you the position where something like this. This was a position. I was white. So if you see here, after rook c2, rook here, he just gets a decent position. The opening was basically Pirk defense, e4 d6, d4 g6, and the position that we reach here, this position, queen, yeah, where was that? Sorry, bishop f4 position here, 26th move. This looks good for black. I have some problems. I played knight a4, rook c4, knight c3, rook c8. So black has the c file, bishop f2, king f8, queen a3. So here I am threatening something. I'm just threatening knight a5. I mean, both of us were low on time by this point. Okay, so this was a trick. I mean, I was threatening knight a5 fork. He had just played king f8, right? So when I played queen a3, he thought there was something on this diagonal which I'm aiming for, and he just thought there's nothing wrong with king g8 and played it. But then just knight a5 and get an exchange. I get an exchange up. So that is how he fell for it. That's how I won this game. After this, it was not that difficult to, win. Now third round. This was against a fellow Kerala player, Biju Kumar. This was a really interesting game. So let me show you the position where, there was a pawn race basically. I was black. You can see this position. White is just pushing pawn this way. Black's just pushing his own pawn. So black is me. I'm just pushing my pawns. Here I played, he played queen e2, I played bishop c5 check, and then rook d1, just stopping f5. He played rook e1, trying to play f5. I just started pushing. He plays bishop e4, d3. So it looks like a very double-edged position. White, if white manages to get his pawns forward, then black king will be in trouble. There's a king at the end. If black manages to get more, I mean, get the pawns move forward, then he'll get a queen. He'll just win. So I just played bishop d4, attacking b2. He plays queen g2, defending the pawn. I play a5. This is why he plays bishop c6, attacking b5. I take the pawn. Of course, if queen takes, I take here. So pawn f5. I have to go back because I have to keep an eye on this bishop. If I move somewhere else, then he can just take my bishop here, right? When I move here, if he takes, I take this bishop. So he pushes the pawn even more. Now threat is pawn e7. So this was again little scary position. I had to be little accurate here. I mean, I played bishop takes pawn. There's nothing else. He pushes. I just place bishop takes e7. Now I look at these pawns. There are 4 pawns. White's pass pawn is gone. So black has just got 4 connected pass pawns, and this is just winning for me. I just play queen c5 and then take the bishop. There's again a threat. I defend it. This is, of course, here I cannot take. So this was again a trick from me, allowing rook e1, e8. If I take, of course, it's checkmate. And if he takes also, it will be problems for me. But then I have a symbol, rook d8. He goes back. And here, this was a trick. This was a trick. The previous one was not a trick, which is defending. This was a trick. I played queen f2. It looks like white can play queen takes rook, right? Because rook takes queen, rook e8 check, rook takes checkmate, background checkmate, no? But then I had seen this, he went for it, and I just play queen takes rook. Taking his rook, when he takes back, I take here. So he resigned at this moment. Rook takes queen and then rook takes queen. I just have 3 passed pawns connected, and that's a win. So this was an interesting game to look back on. Now, 4th round, I won because of a trick. I mean, because of a opening. You know, I got a nice opening. It was the Sicilian, and I played knight f. I was white, and I got one tactic where I got a piece, and I won that. This was a girl who was like 10, 12 years old. d6, bishop d3, passes, d4. You can see black played knight b4, which is actually a mistake. Black thinks knight takes bishop is almost going to happen, but I just play bishop b3. And black cannot take this pawn. Because if black takes, I just have queen e1 fork. So without seeing this, she played knight b4, thinking she can exchange of this bishop. Because if I move, she can take it. That was the plan. But I just play bishop b3 and she cannot take. So she just stays there. She goes back. Knight c3. And the game goes on. Bishop g5. It's a nice position for white. Have the sender. Bishop f4. a6. Queen d2. Threatening the pawn. King h7. a3. b5. Queen e2. I'm trying to play e5 now. Bishop e3. Saving the bishop. Bishop e7. Rook fd1. Queen e7. e5. Pawn takes, knight a5. Put my bishop back, bishop f3, queen f3. Now, this is where I'm threatening queen takes knight because the pawn is pinned, right? Her rating was 1407 in that tournament. Mine was 1516. So here, she just missed this threat. Bishop takes pawn was what she played, and I just took the knight. Free piece. And from here, it was not so difficult because now I'm also getting, like, for example, if she plays bishop g5, bishop g7, it's not just the piece that I got. I'm also getting bishop c5. And there was no way black could stop it. The queen is hanging, but the pawn is pinned still. The tactics work in my favor because the position was good for me. Right? Now I get an exchange up and along with the piece. So I'm basically a rook up. From here, it was not a difficult conversion. Let's play queen f3. Just king takes, rook takes. Just keeping pieces intact. Getting into the position. Moves. I take the queen. Check. 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 I get the king out. I take the rook, and then finally checkmate. Okay, so that was the fourth round. That was kind of easy. I mean, I got a free piece right out of the opening and won. And round five, I was facing Balakaushi, 1426, Tamil Nadu player. I was white again for this game. Again, from after last game also I got white. This game also I got white. Here, this was an interesting position for me actually. Like in this position, my knight is gone because he just played queen e7, attacking both my knights. They're gone. One of them is gone. So I tried to get the best out of the situation by playing knight g5, pawn takes, giving up the piece, and then queen g6, and bishop takes. So I get 2 pawns at least for the piece. Now, after a few moves, I got a position like this bishop h5. I got my pawns forward, these two extra pawns. And now he played some bad moves, and I got a decent position. King here, pawn f6, knight g6, knight into, bishop into, rook e2. This should have been a draw actually. I have 3 pawns, but I cannot make progress. But I just kept on pushing. I play rook e5. So this bishop b1 turns out to be a bishop e4. Yeah, bishop e4 is a mistake because I get h4, and then when rook moves, I get h5. So this bishop was fine here. It stops h5, right? So he should have played rook e6 directly, but he plays this. Now I get these pawns forward. Rook e5. I give this a2 pawn, but now I get the king up, and then I have to calculate a little bit. Rook takes d5, then again rook back, and then pawn d5. And here black can just resign because rook takes, king takes, bishop d3, g6. Now I just get my king up, and he resigned here. So this was some luck basically. When I lost a piece in the opening, but got 2 pawns and somehow got 3 pass pawns and made it a win. This was again luck. Now, after 5 rounds, I was on 5 out of 5. There were a lot of players. There were like 600 something players. So there were many players in 5 out of 5. In sixth round, I was facing Aryan Sharma from Goa. He was 15513. I was 1516. So this is a game where I played this unsound opening. I was black. I have this line where I play g5. Just after white castles, I play g5. This considered unsound, but I still played occasionally. But it went really wrong for me in this game. I just played g4. Knight takes, pawn takes, and then rook g8. Queen f3, rook g7, knight d5, rook g6, knight e3, and that's it. I'm just basically a pawn down, and I don't have much attack. So this was a big problem, this game. I played mid e7 trying to castle this side and have a good game, but it's just too difficult. Pawn down, he just defends the g4 pawn. Pawn h5, trying to make something happen desperate. Because if I just hold on, he can just exchange of everything. It's a great position. Give to d4, rook here, rook here. It should be a good position for him. So I had to make something happen here. I had to show why I gave up the pawn. I need to have some compensation for it. So I played h5, bishop takes, pawn takes, and then pawn takes, rook g5, g3. So by the time I got my counter play, he gets his rook to h1. Here, even if I play rook here, rook g takes h5, he'll still play rook h1. So there's no big difference. The difference is at least I can avoid the exchange of rooks. I can keep queen h7 back here, which was not possible if I took the other rook. Queen f8. Now he just finishes off the game in style. Rook takes, queen takes, and then knight g4. Knight f6 is a threat, and I cannot do anything basically because let's say I move my queen. Still, there will be knight f6, right? Knight f6, and where does the king move? King cannot go there. Yeah, it's mate. So if I move the king somewhere, I cannot even move the king anywhere. So there is no way to stop knight f6. So I resigned here. So after this, I decided I'll never play this opening line in any of the tournament games because it's too much risk, especially against a 1500 player. It's too risky. He just played some normal chess and won the game. Just took the pawn and won the game. So I was on 5 out of 6 after 6 rounds. This was basically the third day, last game. This was the there were 3 rounds in a day. 369. So this was the second day last game, round 6, right? So after round 6, 5 out of 6. Not a bad position, but that's kind of the stage where it can go either way. You can go up and down. Like if you lose one more game, then you will be down into oblivion. You can see that tournament hall. There are like 300 boards. One round you're playing on the top, and then when you lose, you come down all the way down, like 30, 40, 50, 100 boards down. So let me take you to the seventh round game. Now things become interesting. Round 7, I was facing Keshavan, and needless to say, I just got really terrible position out of the opening. I played this knight d6. Okay, I played this knight d6 check, thinking it's kind of good for me. But as it turns out, his king is completely fine on f8. And after a few moves, it's my king who comes under the fire because now he plays g5. And it just a great position for him. Bishop takes, rook e1, f6. You can see this battery of queen and bishop. My knight is pinned. Rook has an open file. Bishop is excellent. My piece is just terrible. So this was a big moment. I want to make something happen. Like if I just play normal chess, he'll play rook g8, and he will just crush me. It's obvious. Like he'll play rook g8, he can play king f7, and then double up the rooks. I mean, anything is possible for him. This king is super safe here. I played queen d2. I mean, on the outside, it looks like the idea is after pawn takes, I want to play, say, a rook takes bishop, or a pawn takes, I want to play queen takes bishop, something like that. But there is a very cunning tactic here, which I had spotted when I played queen d2. He just played rook g8, so that now he's threatening pawn takes. I mean, he's threatening rook takes bishop, basically. Knight cannot take its pin. So if I play a normal move, say, what do I do? Rook c1, he'll just take it, right? So that's the plan. That's why rook g8 was played. Good move, right? But that allows the tactic that I was planning for. Queen, rook takes bishop, pawn takes back, and then queen b for check. King g7, queen e7 check. So a sacrifice of an exchange, and then queen e7, queen f7. Now comes the main move. The main move that made this possible. Bishop f6 check. If king goes to g6, the knight takes pawn, wins the queen. King h6, I still win the queen. And that's how I won this game. He played for a few more moves, but I decided to defend a little bit and I won. So that was round 7. So after round 7, I was like really happy because I tricked him in a very important game. Especially when you're in a lost position and then you do a trick or a tactic and then win, you feel really happy. So I was on 6 out of 7. Now came round 8 against Felix. This is not a round I really like because my opponent was playing too fast. That made me also play a little fast, and he was, yeah. So let me just show you a position where, out of the opening, it was great for me. I played bishop g4. This was a position. It was an English opening. He played knight here, knight d4, castles. And I played knight f3. Just a great position for me, right? King h1, pawn h5. Here he played h3. Here I have a very nice win. I missed it. After I didn't play h4. H4 was a winning move. This pawn takes back and just checkmate. So h4 would have won the game for me then and there. I saw it after some time. Like I played knight back and he played h4. And this is where I went back and I thought, I felt like I missed something. And this is where I just went back and saw, like in my mind, that h4 would have won. I felt really bad. So that affected my future moves also a little bit. I also started playing a little bit fast. And after a few moves, it became like this. It's basically just me attacking on the king side and he attacking on the queen side. Whoever makes things happen first wins. That kind of position. h4 finally. Rook takes. Knight e7, fourth. King moves, knight takes, rook takes. So it goes to another endgame. It's an endgame that I'm slightly better, right? One pawn up. Sorry, 2 pawns up. And there were some problems, but I just got the win here. Rook check and takes. So once I get this position, it's a winning position, right? That was round 8. Round 9. Round 9, I was facing a 1-4-2-5 from Goa. And here, the position was really interesting. The position was really interesting. And somewhere around here, this is the, let me just go through. Yeah, bishop into pawn. Oh, wait. Yeah. So this position, I was white. He played f5, pawn takes. Here I played bishop takes. He could have taken with the queen actually, but here he made the mistake of taking with the pawn, which turns out to be a big mistake. He takes with the queen, it's still a good position. I'll play d5, of course. Like here, if he plays queen takes, he was afraid of me playing d5. He didn't want that. That's why I didn't do that. But d5, he just plays queen d7. It's fine. But pawn takes back, I just get a free pawn. Bishop d4, queen f3, queen takes, rook takes, and we go to the end game with an extra pawn, and it's just a winning position. I get another pawn. Third pawn I'm getting, but I stopped the rook from coming down first. Okay, king takes. Just take the king moves. F4, F5, and here he resigned. That means I was on 8 out of 9 out of 9 rounds. And the last day there was only one round, morning 9:30 I think. So I was gonna face the leader of the tournament. The leader of the tournament was on 8.5 out of 9. I was on 8. There were like three more players on 8 points with me. So this was a very important game for me, and I decided I won't take the draw. I'll try to make a win. I'll try to play for the win at least. Is what I decided in the morning. If I drew, I could have got a decent price, but I went for the win. Now I'll take to the important position through the game. I was black. He played queen d2. If I castle, he can simply play bishop takes pawn as one option, risky, but he can just play g4 and then castle queen side. So I didn't want that, so I played some other moves waiting to castle. He castles, and then the game went on. Just a good position for me, and the critical position comes here. He plays knight f3, and I have no way to defend this pawn. But this is where I saw this nice idea: knight e3 check. It's a knight sack, but that doesn't do anything. Rook takes knight check. So it's basically a full rook sack. And then I get this position. Here there are many very interesting lines. If he plays rook f2, I play rook h3. And he cannot run with the king because I will catch him. So I'm threatening after king moves. I'm threatening. What am I threatening? Let's see. Yeah, rook h1. He blocks. I'll take. He'll take, and then I'll anyway play queen h1. So these are the lines that are possible there. And if he plays knight f2, I'll at least have knight e3 or something like queen g3 also. It's a little scary for white. And after this, if he plays king e2, this was a little difficult for me to calculate, to find. I have this very nice queen h5, threatening to play rook h3 check. And if he moves the king, what do I do here? I'll just play. What is the best move here? Yeah, knight e3 should do, right? It's knight into e3 at the threatening rook f1. Or is there something better? We'll just check with the engine. I'm not too sure. Queen h4 check. Okay. And if he blocks, again rook h3 should win. So these are the things that were in the position, and I took a lot of time to play this sacrifice. And after I played it, he also took a lot of time to calculate everything. And after calculating everything, he decided to go for the queen sack, like queen f2, allowing rook takes back. But that position is a little difficult for me to play. Should be winning, but still difficult. That was best chance is what he thought. But there was a simple mistake. I can just play knight e3. Now position is different. The pawn is gone. That means my knight is actually active. And then I take. From here, it's just an easy position to win. So this was a big moment of the tournament, the last round, and I have a great position, and I just win here. After this, I play queen takes, plays that, and h5. Here he resigns because I'm threatening queen e3 check, pawn f3, and everything. So after 10 rounds, I was on 9 out of 10. There was another player, Vishruth, on 9 out of 10. And I won the tournament based on which. I'll show you the standings. So this was a prize distribution. Standings with us. So based on which I got the first. The opponent in the last round for me, Prasad, was fifth. He was an 8.5. And yeah, this was a great memory for me. This is like my best tournament ever till now. I won basically three good big tournaments. One was in 2016. Second one was in 2018 September, and the third one was this 2018 October. So 2018 was a great year in terms of uh, prize money, and tournaments and chess generally. So yeah, so these are the memories I have of this tournament, and just to show you, these were the grandmasters in category A. I was not there for this. I just went there for category C. That was only in the last 4 days of the tournament. Category A was happening throughout, like 13th to 20th. Every day they had like 2 rounds, and yeah, it was a great tournament, and it became like a permanent fixture, Goa, on my calendar, like most chess players' calendars, because the tournament was perfect. I mean, the entry fee was like 6,000, and they provided accommodation in a nice hotel. They provided breakfast, lunch, dinner all the days, and it was awesome food actually. And it's Goa. The climate was excellent. Everything was good. There was transport from hotel to you know venue, and the venue itself was awesome. Like, who would not want to play in a place like this? This was Shyama Prasad Mukherjee Indoor Stadium in Goa. So yeah, so I went there the second tournament also, like last year, 2019. They conducted it in June. It was rainy season. It was nice. I did okay. I did not do as well as the first time. That's really difficult. You need a lot of things to coordinate to become the champion. You need luck. You need to play well. You need to be in the right mindset. Your chess has to be excellent. Preparation has to be good. And yeah, so everything came together, and I won this tournament. And that's it. That's my memory of Goa. And right after lockdown ends next year onwards, I'm sure they'll again conduct tournaments there, and I hope to play there again.